In this video, we're going to be touching on one of the single most important skills that you can ever make it a point to master, because this skill will dramatically impact every area of your life. Your ability to succeed, your ability to get other people to help you succeed, heck, your ability to get other people to succeed. And that is the skill of influence. Influence is the backbone of all the success that you're going to be able to have in life, because your ability to influence others is going to be what will make or break you in the long run. While this skill is something that you're never really done mastering, you can always get better at, there are certain ways that you can enhance your influence right now. Whether you're in a sales position, or you're trying to pitch an idea to an investor, or you're trying to influence your kids or your spouse, or you want to get one of your friends to do something for you, or a coworker, all of that is part of influence. And we're going to go over 5 incredibly basic phrases that can dramatically enhance the influence you have in any situation. And we're going to go over why they're so impactful, why they're so powerful. So, right out of the gate, the first one I want to tell you about is a phrase that simply goes, I bet you're a bit like me. I bet you're a bit like me in that you hate traffic. Or I bet you're a bit like me in that you are looking for something that'll give you an edge. I bet you're a bit like me in that you're sick and tired of not having control over where things are going in your life. See, whenever you use the phrase, I bet you're a bit like me, on a subconscious level, I automatically now start looking for ways to, are you and I alike? And because there's the old phrase, birds of a feather flock together, I automatically trust people that are like me more. We're hardwired, it's a survival mechanism. So if you say, I bet you're a bit like me, and then whatever phrase follows that is something that we have in common, it doesn't matter how generic it is, my brain automatically latches onto, wow, I am like this person, or better yet, this person is like me, which means I think I can trust this person. It's a way of building instantaneous rapport because it makes us seem automatically connected. Okay? And that rapport, that is what's going to drive us. And if I know that you're like me, now everything that you say holds more weight. The next one is the phrase, do me a favor. Now this is a really interesting phrase because we believe that if I like you, then I'll do you a favor. If I don't like you, I won't do you a favor. That makes perfectly logical sense. But social psychologists have realized that that's kind of backwards from how it actually works in the real world. It's not if I like you, I'll do you a favor. It's if I do you a favor, I must like you. If I won't do you a favor, it must be because I don't like you. Our brains are actually kind of hardwired to do that backwards. One of the best examples of this, or at least one of my favorites, is actually from the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. There was a gentleman that Franklin had a tendency to butt heads with in Congress. I mean, these guys did not see eye to eye on hardly anything. And Franklin always had in his mind, like, if I just present a solid argument, if I tell this guy why he's wrong, if I tell him why he's right, so, he just wanted over and over again, he would just try to convince this guy, and they consistently butt heads. So one day Franklin said, you know what, I'm going to go a completely different route here. So instead of trying to convince the guy he was right or anything like that, he just went up to him, and this gentleman happened to have a rare book in his library, and Franklin, being an avid reader, said, hey, I know that you've got this book. I wondered if you wouldn't mind lending it to me. I would really love to read it. And this gentleman was very proud of this possession, said, yeah, you can borrow my book. So he lent the book to Franklin. Interestingly enough, Franklin said that since the day that he borrowed the book from that gentleman, that guy never voted against him again, ever, on anything. So they went from butting heads to this guy now siding with Franklin on everything that Franklin had wanted to vote on. Their relationship changed dramatically, simply because when Franklin asked this guy to do him a favor, the gentleman obliged. And he said, well, our brain says, if I only do favors for people that I like, so I must like this person. It's an extreme example, but it works. Now, the favor doesn't necessarily have to be something big. It can be something as simplistic as, hey, will you do me a favor? Will you take a look at this for me and tell me what you think? Or, would you do me a favor? Would you come over to this side of the desk so I can kind of show you what I've got going on right here? Would you do me a favor and take a look at this and tell me if you think it's any good? Simple things like that can be profound as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be something big. So again, ask the person that you're wanting to influence to do you a favor. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's not that if you do them a favor, then they'll like you. It's if you get them to do you a favor, even a small one, their brain automatically says, I must like this person, and now you have the ability to influence them even more. Okay, the next word is a simple one. It's the word because. Now, our brains are constantly looking for justifications, and because is actually a simplistic transition word that gives whatever the preceding statement before it is automatically more weight. So, when I'm teaching salespeople, I teach them, you need to make a big, bold claim. Something along the lines of, this product will reduce your cost by 70%. Big, bold claim. But then you follow it with, because we have proven that it can do that with these other companies, or because it increases the efficiencies in this, and this area. Whenever you use because, it automatically, our brains are, again, looking for a justification. So when we say because, it's an easy transition, and our brain starts to go, okay, this has validity to it. This is something that makes sense because, again, one simple word. So whenever you want to grab someone's attention, you make a big, bold claim, you say because, and our brain automatically says this has validity. So if the more validity it has, the more power it has to influence us. Okay? So the next one is, it's a two-parter. It's using the phrase, if I blank, will you blank? This invokes what's called the law of reciprocity. Basically, whenever you do something for somebody, they automatically want to do something back for you. And there's a strong psychological component to this. So, reciprocity, and you can look at, there's a slew of different books on this particular. The next one is an interesting, the next one is a two-parter, and that is, you say, if I blank, will you blank? So you immediately start with, if I do this, will you do that? What this does is it invokes what's called reciprocity, which is an incredibly powerful force in terms of human psychology. If I do something for you, you want to do something back for me. Or if you do something for me, I want to do something back for you. It's basically a paying back system. And this is on an individual level, but there have been studies that show that entire countries will do things for other entire countries based upon reciprocity. If you take a free sample somewhere, you're more inclined to buy that product, or because, again, I was given something for free. Or, hey, let me give you this paper flower. Now will you listen to my 2-minute presentation kind of thing? You feel more obligated after you've taken whatever the free thing that I give to you is. So it could be something of as simplistic as, if I wash your car for you, would you mind going to pick up my friend from the airport? It can be a direct situation like that. Or it can be, if I can prove to you that this product or this service is going to have a profound impact on you, would you be willing to buy? Or you can, again, influencing your kids. If I let you watch this one more show, will you be willing to go to bed without fighting? Again, reciprocity is profoundly impactful. And this allows you to basically set the terms for reciprocity, and it takes a lot of the ambiguity out of it. So the fifth one is, there are two kinds of people. That phrase is all it really takes. And then you follow it up, obviously, with what are... So the last one is simply that there are two kinds of people. And then you say what those kinds of people are. Again, we're all, as humans, we're constantly looking to be put into groups in some way, shape, or form. Say there are two kinds of people. There are thinkers and there are doers. There are two kinds of people. Those who see an opportunity and wait for other people to be successful, and there are the people who take it and they run with it. They make it their own. There are two kinds of people. There are people who care about the best, spending the least amount of money as possible, and there are people who want to maximize their value because they know that's the best opportunity for them. So whenever you say there are two kinds of people, and it can be big actions or small actions, now whoever you're talking to automatically has to put themselves into one of these two groups. Which kind of group am I? Or which kind of person am I? And which group do I belong? So if I say there are two kinds of people, there are people who get good information and just never act on it. They're, maybe they watch YouTube videos and they go, that's cool, but they never do anything with it. And there are the kinds of people who see something and they really make an effort to implement it because they know it has value. They make it a point to take control of their lives. Now you got to figure out, am I the kind of person who just watches and lets information wash over me? Or am I the kind of person who takes information and uses it to make my life better? You subconsciously, you automatically put yourself into one of those two categories. And when you're trying to influence somebody, you simply pose it in such a way that they pick which category they want to be in, and now they have to act in a manner that is consistent with that category. So, real quick, I bet you're a bit like me is one of them. Do me a favor. Because if I blank, will you blank? There are two kinds of people. These are 5 very basic phrases that you can start using at any given point in time. And if I give you something valuable here, I'd ask that you put down in the comments section, just will you do me a favor and put down in the comment section which ones that you thought were the most interesting, or maybe which ones you've had success with. Or after you're done watching this video, pick one of these and just try it out. And go into the comments and leave a comment there and say, hey, you know what, I tried this because one, and it seemed to work really well, or whatever the case may be. So do me a favor and do that. If you did get some value out of this, go ahead and do me a favor, click the like button. If you want more of this kind of content, more of this information about how do I get that little edge in my money and my finances and my relationships with other people, with my health, whatever the case may be, that's what this channel is all about, is creating content to give you subtle shifts that you can do that will give you that extra edge, take you to that extra level. So, as an added little challenge for you, I used at least 3 of these phrases throughout the course of this video. Do you know where I used them? This is a prime example. If you can't tell me instantaneously where I use these phrases, that you can see that this can impact you without you even noticing it. So if you're not sure, I would challenge you. Go back and take a quick peek and see if you can spot the 3, potentially 4, depending on how you look at it, different ways that I use these phrases throughout the course of this video. Again, I hope you had fun. I hope you actually use some of this information, and I look forward to seeing you next time.